Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game SO. Today we're going to get a fun and exciting episode for you guys this evening because we're taking a second look at Sega vs. Capcom, the next level. I did a video on this maybe 3 or 4 months ago when the first demo came out when you just had Sonic and X as playable characters, but now we have Akira and Ryu here as well, doubling the roster, giving us some new stages so we can take another look at this fan-made fighting game work in progress. And that's exactly what this is, a fan-made crossover game, Sega vs. Capcom. You think you call it SVC Chaos, but no, that would be SNK. And honestly, the first time I took a look at this with just Sonic and X, I was highly impressed with the overall polished fighting game engine and pretty much everything else it had to offer. But of course, as a 2 playable character demo, there really wasn't any meat there that you could actually persist on, which is fine. It is work in progress. But now that we have 2 more playable characters, you're getting a better sense of what SVC, the next level, is actually going to be, and I'm definitely enjoying it. Before I get too much further involved though, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined to want to support the channel, I have a Patreon link down below as well. But I absolutely love covering fan games, especially ones that use properties I love, and obviously as a longtime gamer, both Capcom as well as Sega are a lot of what I grew up on and still play today. So having this crossover actually happen is a ton of fun because obviously it doesn't really seem like anything Sega and Capcom would do themselves. And I will say you'd really have no idea that this was actually a fan game. The level of polish in the sprites, the backgrounds really do look great, and obviously this is still just a work in progress build, is only going to get better from there. And I do really like the mix of 2D versus 3D, sprite versus those 3D backgrounds. Really does give a Marvel vs. Capcom vibe to it as far as the overall presentation is concerned. And honestly, getting 2 new characters just makes this a way more in-depth experience. I would say of the 4, Akira is definitely going to be my main moving forward, at least playing around on this demo. You also get multiple ways to play the game. You can do tag battle, you can do 1 versus 1, you have different systems and mechanics in here, so you are going to be able to play the game how you want. My guess would be, as development goes further on, we're probably going to get even more modes, because there is a highlighted story mode available in the menu, but it doesn't go anywhere, so obviously it seems like the end development goal is going to have every single character having their own story, like you would in pretty much any other arcade fighting game. And that is absolutely awesome. I love when fans do this stuff, and again, the level of polish here is spectacular, from the heads-up display to all of the different effects, the 3D backgrounds, the sprites. This has a level of polish to it that you wouldn't expect to see at this stage in development, and honestly, the fighting game engine feels relatively finalized. There are a few things I might change in the future, but I'm assuming those are probably going to change as this game goes further into development, because this is not a review, it's just a preview of a really fun project. Now, the one thing that still doesn't really click for me is Sonic the Hedgehog, both his gameplay style and actually fighting against him. Just because of his short stature, it seems like half your attacks are just going to whiff over his head, and it's not like the developers here are doing anything different than other developers have done. There's been short characters in fighting games basically since the beginning of time, but it's always one of those things. An attack that I feel like would land on Sonic just doesn't seem to, and there seems to be some AI stuff going on with Sonic's actual moveset, where it seems like he is just so much better against you than any other character in the game, but maybe the developers just really like Sonic and wanted him to win a few more times. And just like I talked about this game in the last preview about 4 months ago, I love Sonic's stage here, the 30th anniversary, with the roller coaster in the background and those lights going back and forth sweeping the stage. It really does have a very fun effect to it. But honestly, a fighting game lives or dies by the mechanics, and here in SVC, and I know that's going to confuse people, I keep calling it SVC, they are extremely sound. There's a ton of different combos, there's a large move set. Of course, I am still learning the game because I haven't played it a ton, but there's a lot of meat here on the plate for fighting game fans to check out. This isn't one of those titles where it's a kind of an intriguing premise where you just see characters that would never fight in a fighting game. There really is something here for people that love the fighting game genre, so they can actually check into it and see what else is going on. And you even get some really nice end stage story here, and I do love the effects. So you see the stage in the background with these hand-drawn images over top. And of course, any good fighting games are going to have a ton of options, and they have them here as well. I use a Neo Geo Arcade Stick Pro on my Windows 10 PC to play this, and it works incredibly well. It also has a spectacular soundtrack. Go ahead and listen for 45 seconds, and I'll be right back.
Shall know the octopus style. Ready. Fight.
Awesome music, awesome sound effects, and the announcers in the game as well give that classic Marvel vs. Capcom vibe to it. This does feel like, at least on the audio front, an absolutely professional affair from start to finish. And you'll see here we get the Sega vs. Capcom Next Level logo in the background, while you have the Earth as a gigantic sphere, and you have almost this VR sort of play field. It might be a little bit sparse, but I actually kind of like that sparseness, and I will say that the outlining of the sprites and all of the characters really do pop well against the background. You're never going to feel like your character artwork is going to blend in and you're going to lose sight of what you're actually doing, and that is a really nice separation between the 3D elements and the 2D elements, because at any point in time, if they sort of got lost, that would definitely be to the detriment of the game. And again, at this stage here, with that shrine in the background, the full moon, and the clouds going over the top, it just looks absolutely incredible. Now, I'm not sure if these are actually sprites or if they're 3D converted down into a 2D look, a la something like the new Guilty Gear, so if you know, leave me a comment down below. My assumption is going to be it's some sort of 3D to 2D trickery going on, but I don't know if they're hand-drawn or not. But whatever they are, they absolutely do look great, and the character portraits look good as well, X there with his expression. But again, the one thing that keeps tripping me up when I'm playing this is Sonic the Hedgehog just feels a little overpowered, maybe like he needs a little balancing, and maybe if they made him like, I don't know, 20-30 pixels taller, some of those higher attacks wouldn't actually go over his head, because it feels like he has almost an unfair advantage when it comes to actually fighting against him because he has that short stature. But honestly, it's again something that could be balanced, and this game on the difficulty curve does feel very easy against the other three characters, but for some reason Sonic the Hedgehog pretty much always beats me here, so maybe his balancing, maybe his difficulty level is a little bit artificially high compared to the other characters. And this is just one of the training stages here. And again, it does have a nice look, but maybe not as fully fleshed out as some of the other stages in the game. Leave me a comment down below and tell me, have you checked this game out yet? Are you anticipating and excited for it? Because there are still a lot of characters to come. Having 4 right now definitely gives you a little bit more breadth of content. And of course, you can definitely hook up a second controller to this and play against your friends. You'll see here within the actual menus and everything, you have practice as well. So you'll be able to practice each individual character and get their moveset. You will see there are still 6 characters to come to this game that we know about, and who knows, there could be some hidden characters in here. But tell me down below, what would be the one character from Sega or Capcom that you would absolutely want to add? For me, on the Capcom side, I'd love to see Red Armor in another fighting game like we saw in SVC Chaos versus Sega versus Capcom. But it's fun to be able to train here. You get a nice moveset, and at any point in time you can pause and actually go through all of your individual moves to try to learn the characters, because you are going to want to spend some time in training here to get a better sense of who you click with, their moveset, and how to pull them off in the overall timing. But one more soundtrack sample, because I do love this area as well. 30 seconds and I'll be right back with a little more gameplay. Awesome soundtrack, and you'll see at the last part of that clip there, I was struggling to put in some of the inputs, and I am still learning the game, but that's always the fun part about a new fighting game, is actually learning it. And I probably spent maybe an hour total with SVC, the next level, and I am definitely looking forward to playing some more. But this is something you can play for free. I will leave a link in the description below, and I can't wait to see what the next demo brings, because the last time I talked about this, people were very excited, and the best part is more is coming. It's still under active development, and it definitely is worth your time checking out. Hopefully soon we can get a little bit of a sense of what the story mode is, and maybe even some online play in the future. But short of that, SVC the next level, or Sega vs. Capcom the next level, is shaping up to be great. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.